government on the conclusion of this project. It is dragging too long. Normally, projects of this kind are completed within 3 to 4 years. This project is now dragging for 12 years. I think there is need for you, if you want project to be realized, meet the officials of the Kaduna state government, the federal government, so that you can now address all the issues and the problems associated with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's about all that we can take. If you have further questions, you can reach out to me after the plenary. But I think I can address both questions that were directed at the Kaduna state government. First, Engineer Junior, you talk about crop residues and the waste that can be harnessed for feed and fodder. I'm aware, or I will say you are aware, that our partnership with Pt.5, especially the Business Innovation Facility, has been involved in training local livestock farmers on how to harness crop residues for fodder. And it has achieved a lot. Dr. Leo, as you said, is a practitioner, and he is very much aware of this. So also is ZD Farm. I do not think they need to add to this, because it's something that is already ongoing, and it has given us great value in the livestock value chain. Talking about managing the project in Damau from Kaduna, well, the project is still at its conceptual stage. But before now, the Kaduna state government, in collaboration with Federal Livestock Department, have had pastures developed in Damau. And those pastures have always been very successful, until last year, when a group of bandits or cattle rustlers pushed their cattle into the pasture and destroyed all the fences and attacked all the sedentary Fulanis or herdsmen that were there. They were on that pasture for a whole week. Nobody could get them out. The district head came and reported, and I guess that's what the GM is talking about, taking a census and also controlling movement. So by the time they had finished the pasture, they now left on their own, and they left the whole place bare. Now we have conceptualized a project for Damau, and it is at the level of design also. So naturally, we will have to still do it from Kaduna. Cadra is involved, Result Delivery Unit is involved, Ministry of Works is involved, and we are also involved. So until it gets to implementation, that's when it can be handed over to the participants. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause for this panel. Please, may I, at this point in time, invite His Excellency, the Executive Governor, Mala Nasru Ahmed El-Rufai, the Deputy Governor, Architect Yusuf Bala Bantex, the Deputy Governor-elect, for the photograph with the panelists, please. Photographers, please, quickly. Yes. Cad Invest, sorry. Kadipa. Okoji Milawal, please join. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Thank you, the panelists. We are going straight to the second plenary session, Your Excellencies and all distinguished guests. I apologize that we're going to defer the documentary and goodwill messages because one of our panelists is actually booked for the 2 o'clock train from here to Abuja. So we have to go straight into that plenary session. And the session is talking about ease of doing business, expanding investment frontiers. May I at this point in time invite our moderator, who is in charge of the private sector engagement. She is the advisor of DFID in that sector, Mefita Hajia Aisha Mujaddadi. Her area of specialization, okay? Talking about doing business with so much ease, okay? Her panelists include Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Industry, Trade and Investment, Office of the Vice President and Secretary of PBEC. The next is Mr. Kola Wole Oye, Chief Executive Officer in Infinera Agribusiness. Please join us on the panel. Then we have Sahida Rashid, Lead Governance Specialist, World Bank Representative. And the last but not the least is Ahmed Zakari, Chief Operating Officer, GE Nigeria, Executive Director, Power Services, Nigeria / South Africa. Hajia Aisha, that is your team. You have 45 minutes. Please bearing in mind that the special assistant will be on her way to Abuja before 2. So she should be at the train station before 2. Thank you very much. Happy landing.
Thank you, Antonio. Your Excellencies, I'll stand on existing protocol. This panel, we're supposed to discuss the various reforms made by the Kaduna State government, which has led to the improvement of ease of doing business in Kaduna. I have been in the area of private sector development for about 12 to 13 years, and what I realize is no matter what, political buy-in is very critical to any reform that a government is trying to implement. And I'm very happy that Kaduna State is blessed with a governor, His Excellency Governor El-Rufai, which has been very supportive in the area of ease of doing business reforms. I first of all want to set a background on the efforts that have been made by Kaduna State government. When this administration came on board 4 years ago, investment promotion was a top priority for the administration. So they started engaging to find ways of improving their business environment. The first thing done by the government was to set up an ease of doing business committee, followed by establishment of private sector technical working group. When we talk about ease of doing business, the government is there to make the enabling environment. But if you don't hear from the private sector what are the constraints, the government might not be on the right track. So these two committees, the private sector committee and the ease of doing business committee, they had a public-private dialogue where they agreed on the issues to be addressed, most especially under the ease of doing business indicators. These two committees agreed on the kind of reforms, and then the state government went ahead to come up with different reforms. The reforms were in 4 categories. The first one was the legislative reforms, where the necessary legislations were passed. We saw the passage of the KADIPA law, which is very key, the apex body for investment promotion in the state. The next law was setting up, when you talk about investment, you can't run away from land reforms. So the next legislative reform was setting up the Kaduna State Geographic Information Services. The third one was the tax codification law, which were all laws being passed to support the business environment in the state. The second set of reforms was the regulatory reforms. They had the Land Use Act and compensation, which is very important when it comes to agriculture. We know we need vast piece of land, and compensation comes in. So the government was able to come up with regulations around land use and also compensation. They also had the KASUBDA, that is Development Control Manual, which is also a regulation to also looking at the second indicator of dealing with construction permits. The third set of reforms were the institutional reforms. The ease of doing business, when you look at it from the context of the World Bank, looking at registering a property, starting a business, dealing with construction permits and also contract enforcement, we're looking at reducing the time it takes, the cost it takes, and the number of procedures. Which the state was very proactive during their institutional reforms. They looked at all the MDAs under these 4 indicators. They were able to do a process mapping from beginning to end. As an investor, if I come in, I want to get a certificate of occupancy, track movement of file from one office to the end till I get it. How many procedures are there? Which procedures don't really add value to what we are trying to do? And the state was able to do that. We have seen that in getting business premises registration. They were able to reduce it from 5 days to 1 day. They felt it was achievable to be doing it in 1 day. Also getting a certificate of occupancy, they were able to reduce about 6 months through the process mapping. The third one, the fourth one, which is very critical, when you talk about reforms, the world is moving ahead. A lot of use of technology was introduced into the state government, whereby if you walk into the KAGIS, that is Kaduna Geographic Information System, a lot of computerization has been done, a lot of automation of their processes at the Internal Revenue Service at different MDAs. So this has really reduced the time it takes for people to register businesses in Kaduna State. So now, in relation to all these efforts that the Kaduna State government has done, we have really seen a remarkable achievement. Looking at how Kaduna has moved its position under starting a business from the 15th position to the 5th in 2018, dealing with construction permit from 32nd to 17th, registering a property from 24th to 1st in the country, and also enforcing contracts. They're also first. A lot has been achieved. So my first question is going to Madam Jumoke. You have had all the efforts that have been put in by the Kaduna State government. Yesterday,
Kaduna Economic and You're watching Channels Television and you've been watching the Kaduna Economic and Investment Summit. CAD Invest holding in Kaduna State. We'll now return to our regular programs. Please stay with us.